The line between love and hate is thin. Hi, I'm Nia. Welcome back to another writing vlog. Today I'll be working on Project Rose. If you're new here, welcome. Project Rose is the first book in a romantasy series that I'm working on. A romantasy is a fantasy work in which the romance is the central plot of the story, different from a fantasy romance where the central plot revolves around the fantasy element and the romance is significant but not the central plot, like Project Fortune. It follows a woman with a secret past and a dangerous secret who falls in love with a mysterious man who possesses great powers. They meet and fall in love in a bubble, but then outside influences and a country on the brink of war make them question if they're meant to be. Today, I'm going to break down how I crafted this lovers to enemies story. Lovers to enemies, not to be mistaken for the far more popular enemies to lovers, revolves around the dissolution or fracturing of a relationship. My version consists of 4 parts. The love story. This is the part of the story where the characters meet and fall in love. The lovers are not already in a relationship at the start. The reader is along for the journey of them falling in love with each other. This enhances the emotional attachment the reader has to the fictional couple. A great betrayal. This is the part that causes the breakup. It's a betrayal so terrible it feels like there's no way for reconciliation. This betrayal can be real or fabricated to drive the couple apart, but it catapults them into the enemy's territory. Their villain era. They are firmly enemies now, and on opposing sides of whatever greater plot is happening. They lash out at each other, are brutal and cruel in their revenge, and engage in life or death battles. The unknown ending. This is the point in the story where once all the dust has settled and so much damage has been done, so much hurt has been caused, the characters decide once and for all if this is the end forever or if somehow they'll be able to put aside their past and be together. Some of my favorite lovers to enemies arcs include Anakin and Padme from Star Wars, Raya and Darren from the Black Mage series, I mentioned them in my last writing vlog, and Marcos and Lorna from The Gifted, a TV show. I can make a full video breaking down these romances, so if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. Define who your characters are. Develop a history for them. It can be as detailed or as brief as what works for your story, but there are certain things you must know about them. What was their childhood like? What are their likes and dislikes, traumas and fears, hobbies, special skills? How did they end up where they are at the start of the story and why? Ask yourself what and why questions about them. These answers will define who the character is at their core and inform how they will behave and react. What do they believe in? Why? What do they fight for? Why? What do they value? And why? What prejudices do they hold? Why? Determine what the major moments are. I talked about this in my previous writing vlog about romance. You can kind of think of this one as a part 2. These are instances in a story where the relationship is deepened or tested. For example, the meet cute, a first kiss, moments where they support or defend each other, a conversation where they open up to each other are all examples of deepening the relationship, which cement the bond that's forming between them. An argument, a betrayal, withholding information, lying, etc. are examples of testing the relationship to see if they can overcome the situation and how. Create internal and external conflicts that will act upon their relationship. Internal conflicts can be secrets being kept, fears a character has, insecurities a character feels, or pressures of competing loyalties one has. I'll give an example for each. My main female protagonist is keeping her true identity a secret, which, if revealed, would cause geopolitical issues. The male love interest has very powerful and rare magic, but he fears himself because he's almost like Superman in a sense where he must exert constant control over his powers or risk unintentionally hurting people. The female protagonist is insecure about if she's able to give the male love interest the life she feels he deserves. She has this major secret and has been living a life has been living a quiet and invisible life, while he's very much in the public eye due to his family and his job. He has other options constantly pushed on him for partner options that would fit his lifestyle better than she would. The male love interest is loyal to his surrogate father and also to the female protagonist, but sometimes these two people that he loves are on opposing sides and he has difficulty figuring out how to move forward. This is where you can take aspects of the couple's personalities that are incompatible and put them under a microscope to discover how the couple will either grow together or break up. Then you have external conflicts, which can range from other people manipulating your main characters, to literal sword fights, to injuries, to brutal weather. External conflicts can be employed directly or indirectly. Directly is when the character experiences the effects themselves. They are the one that is told the lie by someone they trusted, so they make plans based off of that misinformation. Or they are the ones who was attacked and injured. Indirectly, that could be bad weather that hinders the character's journey, but they're not directly caught in. Or maybe a side character is killed before they can pass on an important message. It's things that slow down, obstruct, or prevent the character's journey and have an impact on the story, but the main character doesn't experience themselves. You want to weave together moments that deepen and threaten your couple's relationship because it engages the reader. They root for them to be together, and the tension keeps them glued to the page as they try to figure out ways for the couple to overcome the obstacles while reading. So for Project Rose, I knew these characters had to meet and fall in love pretty quickly. Generally, I don't like insta love or love at first sight because I've seen so many poorly executed ones in which the main character will excuse terrible, toxic, even criminal behavior for the sake of love despite only having known this person for a few days or weeks. They will be glaringly incompatible but try to make it work. For I don't even know why. With that in mind, I spent a lot of time crafting my characters' first meeting and conversation in order to justify how quickly they fall in love. I then spent the majority of the first part of the book having them only confront external conflicts coupled with more intimate moments of opening up to each other and deepening their bond. Then, about halfway through, I introduced the first major internal conflict where a secret is exposed in a big and shocking way. There's a brief period of distance and wondering if they'll get back together. They're ultimately able to overcome it by communicating honestly about certain things, which leads to another shocking secret revealed by the other person. This escalation highlights even more their differences and leads to a major argument that exposes how they don't align on certain things. These revelations also reveal the danger the female protagonist would be in if the relationship came out and people started digging into her past. Meanwhile, the male love interest has to come to terms with the fact that the woman he loves is literally working against the interests of his family. Crafting romances that are believable and satisfying and enjoyable can be hard. You have to be intentional in how you plan yours out. My story is a lovers to enemies, but you can apply these tips to any type of romance arc. So to recap, define who your characters are. Ask yourself what and why questions about them. Determine what the major moments are. Create conflicts that will act on the relationship. Comment below which tips you found most helpful. And if you like this series, check out my other writing vlogs and keep a lookout for my next one. I also post book reviews and bullet journal videos as well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!